There's so many different advice I would like to give my younger self with the knowledge I know today. But some of the most important ones are your mom isn't always wrong and she isn't always still trying to ruin your life. Because as I got older, I felt like I'm more and more like my mom in some ways, telling my own kids, don't do this because I've been through that. So you need to listen. And remembering back then, I was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. That's one. The second one really comes down to who you hang with is truly who you are. So choosing your friends and your relationship wisely is so important. People around you changes your outcome or expedites your outcome. You want to hang with people that are smarter and better than you. If I could tell my younger self, I would tell myself to invest sooner. I worked pretty early on, and so save money and invest sooner. Invest into different type of portfolios, whether it's index funds or 401ks, whatever it may be, just invest sooner. And I guess there's one more. One more is protect your peace. Don't let anybody dull your shine. There's nothing worth more in this life than your health, your peace of mind, and your time. And don't be afraid to have a voice. The worst thing that can happen is somebody says no. Then it's okay, you move on. So don't be afraid and protect your peace. Somebody's interrupting your peace and making you change who you are. They're not the right person in your life. Cut that negativity out sooner and move on. So many things I would have done differently. What advice would you give your younger self?
So nothing. I feel like everything's perfect. There's nothing.
That is the number one mistake.
And this is what you should never do.
That has not grown up yet.
Yeah. No, I think a couple of things are exactly what my dad said to me. Read books. Like the most important thing in life he told me was time. I didn't really like reading, but at least now there's audiobooks. Because it's not about reading books, it was about gain knowledge. And gain knowledge is not
constantly learning.
That's it. Yeah, learn, gain knowledge and learn. And critical think about things that come to you. The other one is, as we're getting older, I realized that your family is not around forever. And you start losing close family members. The older you get, the more you start to realize the value of your family and their years of life. So I've had family members that were in World War II when I was a kid, right? And they must have had so many interesting stories. I wish I could sit there with him by his old chair and sit drinking araki once a night or whatever. Ask him, how was life? What did you learn? Just so much experience and knowledge. They're not always right? Just because you're old doesn't mean you're right or wise, but they have a lot of experience. There's a lot of gold you can learn from people's experience.
They lived through a lot.
They lived through a lot.
Through many generations after generations.
Yeah. It's not about them telling you advice. It's about them telling you their experience. So then from hearing that experience, you can draw out what makes sense to you and what's most valuable. So that's another one too, right? Another one is, I was always a very curious kid, but somewhere along the line, maybe perhaps when I moved from Greece to the United States, I asked less questions. And I think I asked less questions because I didn't know English well enough. But one thing I'll tell myself is ask why. Ask more of why things are the way they are for like everything. And if you don't understand it, ask again and ask someone else and ask a different way. I do that a lot now, and I frustrate probably even you sometimes, but like it's more important to me personally to know the reason behind things. If I understand the fundamental reason how things work and why they exist, I can remember them until my death. Another couple things that are important is hobbies. I think, I did full-time school and full-time work for a long time, and I don't want to use that as an excuse because it's not. But when you're working 45 hours a week and then you're going to school full-time, it's a lot of hours. Just seemed like the hobby wasn't even an idea in my mind. But I feel like I wish I could have gotten to hobbies faster, like kickboxing. I know I tried piano when I was a kid. I hated it, but maybe drums would have been more fun, I think. So I just didn't get into that much. And the last thing I'll say is the amount of time and effort that I put into other people's companies is staggering. And on one side, it's great because I learn and I gain experience. On the other side, it sucks because all of that time and effort and passion that I put into someone else's world, it was theirs to keep. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur and not everybody wants to, but I would have told myself to invest in yourself is probably the biggest thing. Yeah.
So I'm a huge believer that everything happens for a reason and the right time. So I agree, like a lot of what you said makes sense, but at the same time, if we didn't go through the struggles of everything we went through, we wouldn't be where we're at today either. But the other piece is life is truly short. Like, live life for yourself. I made so many decisions throughout my life because in my mind, that was the right decision to make as a daughter, as a sister.
Like based on expectations.
Yeah,
right?
I made those decisions for my family because that's what would make them happy. And those wouldn't have been the decisions I would have made for my own life, my own choice. And it's the path I painted and it's the path I have to stay with, right? There's nothing wrong with it, but do you guys ever wonder what your life would have been like if you made different decisions? If you made decisions that was on your own expectations versus your family's expectations? And I think the key takeaway here is these are advice we will give our younger selves, but at the same time, it's never too late for any of this. You wonder what advice we will give to ourselves now, 40 years from now.
That's right. Good
Right.
point.
Yeah.
They would have said the same advice you gave yourself. You should actually use that advice and do it instead of just sitting here
Who knows?
praising it.
Yeah.